What is going on, YouTube? Ready for another update here in the markets. And man, do we have some fun levels to go over. Let's dive into these. So, here on the SPY, we've got very, very key levels. I would say the high, the previous peak back over here in July, was actually back in August is a very important level. So it's going to be fun to see the levels and see if we actually do close on a weekly chart up above this. With the Fed rate kind of coming through, they're pausing interest rates. So I think today was a little bit too overhedged. The market they did sell off and they kind of got bought back. I would say that's just because of the amount of puts that were in the markets. This was one of the largest hedged events this year on number-wise on options. Okay, so there was so many puts on the market, not letting this thing really go lower. So it's going to be fun to see over the next few days what actually happens and to see if we continue to fall off or if this gets bought up, how they react to this. But historically, whenever the Fed pivots, that's when the big drop comes. So I personally don't believe that the bottom is in. Maybe it is. I'll have to have the charts tell me. Again, I have my own ideas, my own thoughts, but I trade the charts. And when we pull back to 420 to 415 area on SPY, I am buying calls. Now, I might lose on those calls really quickly. I'm in a whole bunch of puts, and that's okay. Those puts are going to make money. But I am prepared to have this thing go to all-time highs, or at least up to 460, 470 on SPY. Okay, so I am ready for that. I am planning on that. I am not just going to go. The only scenario is the market dies. That's one of the scenarios. The second scenario is we come down and we bounce and we actually keep cranking up and this bull move continues to get crazy. But a pullback is coming within days to a week, my friends. You don't get this far away very often from the 20 EMA on a weekly chart. Like, we will probably come back and visit this 20 EMA on a weekly. It's just too extended. It's too parabolic, and the amount of calls coming onto the table are exploding right now. So, with that, I think the market's going to have a hard time going higher. We kind of have to wait through this week to get all the rest of the big options. This is quadruple witching this week. Which means just lots of expirations are coming due this Friday. That tends to move the markets, okay? Volatility is starting to show signs that it's starting to pick back up. So I believe a pullback is coming. Will it be the pullback? No idea. Time will tell. But I know a pullback is coming. And so when this market starts to pull back into this range here, I think that we're going to start possibly bouncing. I think the buy the dippers are in full force right now. So when we finally pull back pretty hard, I think this is going to bounce. This is what's going to be telling on the markets, okay? So scenario number one, I'll if I can get that. That's okay. Scenario number one is we pull back and we bounce. Cool. I'm ready. I'm be buying calls. Scenario number two is we come down, we bounce. It's going to bounce. I don't know how high. It'll bounce. Bulls are going to come in. And I'm not sure exactly where it's going to bounce, but it's going to be somewhere in this box area. Bulls are going to step in. And if at any point we give up this bouncing spot, it will crank hard to the downside. That will basically be the give up spot for the bulls. All the buy the dippers are going to get out. There are a lot of people trapped. And that's going to lead us to our third scenario. Third scenario, we pull back without any bounce and it just crushes with gaps. We just gap through all of this buying area. We come down to it and overnight gap down to here and then just keep going. So that is possible because of the amount of people buying up here. This is not the place to buy, in my opinion. You've missed it. Wait for it to pull back and see if it bounces. That's at least what I'm looking for. Of course, the other scenario is we just keep going higher, but that's only going to add to the fact that we're going to pull back. So that's already priced in. I'm talking about after a pullback, okay? Which is very, very needed in this market. We are extremely overextended. And the SPY has like 8 open gaps that need to be filled all the way down to around the 395 level. So let me tell you what I am expecting, how I am trading this, and what I am looking for. Again, lots of open gaps coming through here on SPY. just everywhere. There's just gaps everywhere that need to close, and SPY tends to close its gaps. So I personally think SPY is going to come crashing down within when the rug gets pulled, it's probably going to happen in a week or two. It's going to be fast. Okay? You're going to get huge down 6% days type thing where it's just going to get crushed. A lot like what we did previously. I am expecting something like this. Okay? So we're going to get crushed down, and it's going to probably try to break either 410 or 404, somewhere in that range. Okay? So let this thing come down and start to break some of these levels. A lot of your bears are going to get very excited, and this is where I believe it's going to start to turn. That's where that bounce is going to come in. And then the question is, are we going to do that, or are we going to do this? Don't know. Time will tell. But this is what I'm going to be watching. You have to be very careful. Once we start getting below this 404 mark, I think we're going to try to hunt these stops. I mean, if we get below, what level? 394, it's going to be very interesting. I think people are going to panic, and I think that's probably where we're going to get a steep push back higher. And like I said, we'll see if this thing plays out. So that's what I am looking at. If we kind of uncover some of these little lines here on SPY, this is the bouncing area. So I am looking to go long down here, but if at any time we give up any sort of bounce, look out. The next place that we could possibly go into is this bottom trend line. So that's an interesting little spot there on SPY. Something else I want to point out. So if we drew a trend line on these previous little pivots here, so this guy there through that right there, that leads us basically right into where we're at right now. And if you look at today's candle, I don't know how exactly I've driven. That's not too bad. Today's candle, we're kind of chilling right at that line, give or take a little. Don't hold that solid like that's the only line. It's all subject, right? But we are into this area. Think of everything as areas, not necessarily one thin line. Okay, so we are into this area of that trend line, and it's very possible that if we wanted to play this game, we could be coming back down to 380, 400, somewhere in there. Just depends on how long it takes to get down there. And maybe we continue to bounce back up. So all of those scenarios you have to be ready for, you have to play and expect. But historically, my friends, historically, the bottom is not in. I haven't seen the capitulation, the max fear. This is just some sort of little double bottom bounce. And if we go back to 2008, I've been sharing this with my premier students. If we go back to 2008, this is the moment. This is honestly where I think we're at right now. 2008 had a monstrous dip. Huge sell-off, right? Really about 2007, actually. 2007 to 2008. And then it started to double bottom and started to rampage. I truly believe that we're somewhere right here. If we start getting a big sell-off this week or next week, that's kind of what I would expect to see that. Here is that little bouncing area, which is so common. And then as soon as you close below that little bounce, it takes out all the bulls, and then you start to see some steep drops. That's where we're getting some strong candle close below that last year, retest, and this is really the start of the actual bear move. The bear move is going to be way bigger than the initial move. Whenever the markets come across here and they double bottom like this and then start to bounce, everyone believes the bottom is in. But if you're looking at the VIX, and let me just, I'll pull it up. I'll pull VIX up on this so that we can have it ready to rock and roll. I think it'd be easy. If we go back to the VIX in 2008. Oh, my friends, it's been a long day. All right, so we're getting some progress. Okay, so back in 2007, 2008, this is what happened down at the bottom of that double bottom, and then it started to pull off when the markets bounced. What you're looking for is capitulation. You're looking for a monstrous, huge, rampaging move on the VIX. That usually is the sign that the bottom is pretty much in, expected to come within the next couple weeks, month-ish. This is not capitulation. This is not capitulation. This is capitulation. You see the difference? So if I were to zoom out now, these are kind of the peaks that we were looking at on the double bottoms. No type of capitulation has come in if I could talk. Then we did that little double bottom. It started to roll up, and then we rolled over pretty hard. That's where you started getting this type of a move. When the VIX explodes, the bottom is in. So now let's compare that to where we're currently at on the markets. Do we have the capitulation? No. This entire bear move has been met by systematic kind of normal bouncing up in a channel, and we are extremely low, by the way. Pre-COVID levels low on the VIX. So I don't believe the bottom is in. I think this is somewhat of a dead trap bounce, that dead cat bounce that is trapping people. I think everyone right now is just like full FOMO. Everyone load the boat. We've missed the bottom. My friends, we historically don't bottom when we're still increasing rates. So the fact that he just pivoted, that's the start of the big move down. And then when they actually start to print money again is when we start to bounce again. That's the only thing really holding things up. We are not printing money yet. So don't be too concerned about having FOMO in this market and feeling like you've left. This could be the bottom. I'm not shutting that down. Like I said, I am buying calls on the way down, right? We could go to all-time highs. Why not? But I want you to know that the signs of the bottom are not in. When VIX explodes to here, okay, the bottom is close. And that's what I'm waiting on right now. So if we go back over here to where we're currently at now, way up here, and we look at this guy, we're doing the exact same thing that we did before. Double bottom, grinding our way higher, and now we're squeezing up, and now everyone's like, oh my gosh, the bottom is in, double bottom, everything is there. First off, the volume down here is not telling me this is the bottom. The VIX is not telling me this is the bottom. And my friends, we are still planning on raising rates in the future, even though he just cut right now. He cut right now because something's broken. We're going to figure out what is broken over the next month. Okay, that's going to be revealed. There's a reason why he's cutting rates, not out of the goodness of his heart. So I believe that these markets, this bounce is just trapping people right now. It's just trapping people. The volume is not coming in strong at all. Nothing is telling me that there's momentum behind this. I'm not here to predict the future. I'm just here to be prepared for whatever could come. So I'm not telling you to go short. I'm not telling you to do anything. I just want you to know, make plans. And when you see scenarios play out, you know how to play them, right? So that's all I'm doing is when we pull back, I'm buying calls, ride this thing to all-time highs. Fantastic. I'll double my trading account on that move. If we do this, fantastic. I'm going to 10x my trading account this year because we're going down, my friends. And if that breaks, we will probably come visit some of these levels, pre-COVID levels. I think we could even get to the bottom of COVID. I don't think we'll get much worse than that, but that is possible. I honestly think 320 has always kind of been my level because that's about the peak, right? Before the big drop, somewhere into there. So that's always been my spot. That's where I thought we would get to right here. But of course, too many puts in the market. We've got to get all the bears out. And that's worked. All the bears are out. All the bulls are in. Now, if they want to, and if it's going to, we're going to get something like that and then work our way back lower. So that's what I'm looking at on the SPY. Be prepared for every scenario. And then now you have game plans to what to look for. You make your own trades on them. And those are just what I'm planning on doing. That is my game plan. I'm just planning out scenarios. Scenario number 1, we come down and we rampage. Scenario number 2, we come down and it falters. And I'll see which one plays out, and I'm going to figure out how to make money on either one of those. So that's my 2 cents here on the market. Pay close attention on SPY. When this thing finally does come back, around 420, all the way down to like 390, you still have to be on guard for a strong bull bounce. Okay. Once that bounce comes, anytime we take out that low, watch out. It's going to be in trouble. So keep an eye out for that. If we continue to rocket ship up to 460, that would be crazy. And I still think we can do that, by the way. It's just going to need to pull back first. I don't really see us going there without a pullback. I think we're already crazy extended. This would be extreme. I mean, this would be full paranoia. It would be, if we come up to here and these bulls don't step in, I mean, you will see worse than a COVID crash, because everyone will be long. They're already, the masses are in long, but everyone would be full bull, and without a pullback and without the market environments that we have going on, the kind of the big picture to show us that the bull move is not in, it would be insane, and I would personally be putting a few puts on the market up there. But my friends, this is a great opportunity. I'm going to look to take advantage of it and see how it plays out. So we are into my short zone right now. Lots of bull weeks in a row. Very, very extended from the 20 EMA on a weekly that needs to get tested. Come back, see if any bulls have any strength. If not, down we go. Probably another 20, 30% if I had to guess. So I hope this helped. I know it's just on SPY, but I want to give you a quick little rundown. We live in interesting times, interesting place, and everyone that doesn't quite know how to read these markets, I have a feeling they're about to get burned. If I was in long, I'd be taking my profits and I'd be getting out right now, or at least having stop losses in place or buying puts to protect myself, because it can continue to squeeze higher, but I wouldn't be shocked to see a bear week coming through this week or the next week. So be prepared, be patient, don't FOMO into things. Don't try to go long up here. You haven't missed anything. I promise you that. So, love you guys. Thanks so much for being here with me. Thanks so much for being with RLT. Please come trade with us. Come hang out with us. Come join us here at this community. We trade every single day. This is what we do. We just kind of walk you through and teach you. That's what we are. We're an education business. We teach you how to do this so that you're not the one stuck loading up your entire trading account up here and losing it all, right? We want to walk you through, hold your hand, and help you. You can come pay monthly to come trade alongside us. You can watch my screen. Watch me as I analyze these markets in real life. You can do multiple moderators, what we have. There's tons of courses, tons of free education, tons of paid education and top-end courses. We'd love to help you out. And we pride ourselves in being that trading community where you can honestly ask any question. There's nothing, there's no one above somewhere else, right? We've all been a beginner trader. I was the one of the worst traders in the world. I was the one loading my entire account up here, but I'm like, it's bullish, right? So RLT helped mold me, and I felt comfortable to ask questions and to grow, and people weren't like, oh, you should know that. No, they help you. They answer your questions, because every single successful trader at one point sucked, right? No one was born great. Some people got lucky, but most of us... we had to learn, we had to grow, we had to ask questions and have a mentor there to help us. So that's what we do here at Real Life Trading. Please look into us, check it out. If you had any value in this, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe, and I will continue to do more of these videos as these markets unravel and see how we play out. Do we bounce? Do we not? And I'll just continue to show you more key levels and a few game plans and scenarios that you can start to look for, see how you can make some money and go change your life. I love you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out.